All right, in today's video, we're going to talk about 29 ways to guarantee that your med spas ads fail. Okay, so if you're running ads on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you follow these 29 ways if you want to make sure that your ads fail miserably and do not work at all. Okay, so the premise of this video here, I learned this from a guy named Alex Hormozi who learned it from Charlie Munger. I'm sure you're probably familiar with Charlie Munger, but we are much better at identifying problems than we are at identifying solutions. And so instead of asking yourself, for example, how do I get more clients for my med spa? You should ask yourself, what are all the ways that I can virtually guarantee that I will get 0 clients for my med spa? This whole idea is called inversion thinking. So basically what you do is you can come up with a big list of all the ways that you can make sure that you would never solve your problem or hit your goal. And then all you have to do is avoid or reverse those problems so that you can identify the solution. Okay, so as an example, if I asked, what are all the ways that I can virtually guarantee I will get 0 clients for my med spa? Well, I could never advertise any of my services. That would be a great thing. The inverse of that would be to always be advertising my services. I could have a terrible reputation in the community, right? And the inverse of that would be to create an excellent reputation in the community. Or I could assume that simply existing is enough to get new clients. And then the inverse of that would be to understand that it takes manual effort to get clients and just simply existing in your local area isn't enough. This is just to give you a handful of examples here. Before we dive in and explain how to virtually guarantee that your ads will fail, my name's Josh. I'm the founder of Wellness Leads. I specifically work with med spas, aesthetic practices, and wellness centers. I've spent hundreds of hours personally generating leads and booking appointments for my clients. I've booked hundreds of qualified appointments for my clients at this point. And my guarantee to you here, I promise, if you follow the strategies I'll give you in this video, your ads will fail and you will lose money. That is a 100% guarantee or your money back. So let's just dive right in here with the 29 ideas. So number one way to guarantee that your ads are going to fail is to run ads as a last ditch effort for your dying business. So you want to make sure that your business's revenue is declining before you start running ads, right? You should be in a very desperate state of mind when you start running ads. Like your mindset should be, this needs to work or I'm going to shut my business down type of mindset, right? You need to assume that ads are going to save your business, and you need to believe that ads are the missing piece or the answer to your declining revenue growth, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are going into ads with this scarcity mindset or this super desperate mindset, like if this doesn't work, I literally have to shut my business down, then obviously your ads are going to fail because you're going to be just losing sleep watching every single penny be spent on the ads. And that's obviously a terrible mindset to have when going into it. So if you want to guarantee that your ads fail, this is a great mindset to have. Number 2, only commit enough money to try ads for 1 month. Really great way to make sure that your ads fail. Expect to make at least $1 million at the end of the first month, and just make sure you give up if you haven't made that $1 million, right? Also make sure to spontaneously turn your ads off and on every single day, every single week, depending on their performance. So you should be in there refreshing the page every single day, or if you're working with an agency, just bothering them and badgering them, asking how many appointments have been booked, or complaining about lead quality, or whatever you want to do. And after 1 month, if the ads aren't super incredibly profitable, turn them off, right? Because that is a surefire, guaranteed way to make sure that your ads fail, is turning them off way too early, because obviously 1 month is not enough time to see if any marketing is working. So that's a great way to make sure that your ads fail. Number 3 here is to run ads to a generic free consultation. Great way to make sure that your ads just do not work at all. Assume that your potential clients see the value in a free consultation, right? You and I both know free consultation is super valuable because you're taking your time to sit down with somebody and diagnose their issue to prescribe a solution, right? Obviously, the people scrolling on Facebook or Instagram probably don't understand how much value they're actually getting when I just say come in for a free consultation. And 99% of people just associate a free consultation with, oh, you're going to try to pitch me a treatment plan or a package of some sort. So what you want to do is you want to run ads about how experienced and awesome your staff is and how cool you are and how amazing your med spa is, and then make it as generic and as broad as possible, because we don't want to miss out on any opportunities, right? So we have to keep it super broad and generic to attract everybody. This is one of the best ways to waste your money. I promise you, if you make a free consultation the entire offer that you're advertising in Facebook ads, Instagram ads, wherever you're doing it, your ads are probably going to fail. So great way to do it. Number 4 is to run awareness ads or boost your posts on Instagram and Facebook and expect to get leads from it. Okay, so this is another great way to just burn through cash and burn through a whole bunch of budget. Hit that little boost button on your Instagram or Facebook posts and then run a microscopically small budget on it. So like $5 a day or even like $1 a day just to, throw money into the ether. Do this for a few weeks or so. Okay, so run this for a couple weeks and then complain that you haven't gotten any leads from it at the end of this, right? So boost a post, like maybe you even like post something about a promotion and then you boost it at the end of the couple weeks and you haven't gotten any leads. Make sure to complain a lot about it because that's a great way to make sure your ads do not work. Number 5, expect to be profitable on the front end offer. Okay, so when I say front end, I just mean whatever you're advertising in the ad itself. So when you run an ad, it's the package, it's the discount, it's the promotion, whatever thing you are giving away to people on the front end. Expect to make profit from that. Okay, so whatever your upfront thing is, expect to make millions of dollars of profit from that, not from the package or the treatment plan sale that's supposed to happen after the fact, right? So let's say that you're running an offer for $100 and you're spending $1,000 on the ads. Let's try to get like 50 or like 100 customers in every single month because you and I both know that's completely unsustainable and it'll never work. So that's a great way to make sure that your ads don't work is to have an expectation that that front end offer is the thing that's going to make you profitable. And it's not all of the sales that happen after you get that brand new customer in the door. Great way to fail. Number 6, only be willing to run offers above $200 to attract better leads. Okay. Assume that higher priced offers attract better leads affordably. Okay. Let me just go back and forth here. I think this isn't loading. There we go. Believe that your ideal clients are only people with boatloads of money. Okay. This is really, really important if you want your ads to fail. Is just think that like you have to be working with like the upper echelon rich people of your local area in order for your med spa to be profitable. That's a great belief to have in order for your ads to fail. And also assume that these rich people that live in your local area that are just like sitting and just waiting to see super expensive ads, just assume that they love spending their money on services from companies they've never heard of before, right? So they're just constantly scrolling Instagram and Facebook all day and they see this med spa they've never heard of before advertising something for $400 on the front end and they go, yeah, I guess I have like so much money I don't care about anymore. So I'm just going to, reach out to this company I don't know about and spend money with them rather than, maybe getting an intro offer from them that's a little bit cheaper as a foot in the door, right? But if you want your ads to fail, make sure that you are only ever willing to run an ad for anything $200 or more. Okay. Number 7, assume that discounts and intro packages only attract price shoppers. Okay. A little bit of a controversial one here, but assume that low prices only attract the worst types of people. Base this on the experience that you had that one time where you ran that thing on Groupon and it attracted a whole bunch of people who were only looking for some kind of great deal, right? From a website made specifically for great deals. Who knew that would have happened, right? If you ran an offer on Groupon, which is literally a place where people go to find super cheap deals, that attracted a whole bunch of people looking for deals. Who would have known that would happen, right? Equate your Groupon experience to running ads on Facebook, right? Because obviously they have to be the exact same thing. Refuse to even think about running an offer for less than $100 and neglect the idea that qualification is done through your sales process and not the ad itself, right? Because obviously it's the price on the ad that qualifies people. It's not everything that happens in your sales process after the fact that qualifies people, right? Really important. If you believe that, I can guarantee that your ads are going to fail. That's a really, really great mindset to have if you don't want to make any money. Okay. Number 8, convince yourself that it's the offer's fault that you have low quality leads and it's not your shitty follow-up. Okay. So like I said earlier, neglect the idea that your low quality lead issue could have anything to do with your sales process. Just neglect the word sales process. Don't even try to understand what it means because you don't need to. Blame it 100% on the price of the offer that you're running. This is super important if you want your ads to fail. Okay. So just whenever you have a low quality lead issue, whether you try to run your ads yourself or you're working with an agency and you get somebody who asks what the price is, or you, for whatever reason, have deemed that the leads are low quality because they haven't bought one of your treatment plans or packages, make sure that you blame it all on the offer, all on the ads, or anything else aside from your follow-up process or your sales process. Really important if you want your ads to fail. Number 9, make your offer as mediocre as possible out of fear of giving away too much, right? Because obviously we don't want to give people a really great deal on the front end because why would we do that, right? Better yet, make your offer terrible, right? You should try to make your offer terrible. Make it something that a stranger who's scrolling on social media wouldn't even stop to look at. It wouldn't even catch their attention. Believe that offering $50 off or $10 off some super mega expensive treatment that you have is a great way to get people's attention, right? If you believe that and you run an offer for something where it's like normally a $700 treatment, but you're being so gracious at giving people 10% off, great way to get absolutely zero leads and to make sure your ads don't work at all. Number 10, spend very little time on your ad creatives. Make sure that you rush through the ad creative. So when I say creative, I just mean like the image or the video that you're actually running as the ad itself. Definitely be unwilling to record any videos, right? Don't record videos, right? Hire a cheap designer on Fiverr and ask them to also write the copy for your ad while they're at it. Make your ad as boring as possible, something that doesn't jump off the screen and get someone's attention while they're scrolling. Make sure that it blends in with all the other boring ads that people are seeing and just scrolling past as quickly as they possibly can. Rush through your ad creatives. Don't be willing to record any videos. Great way to make sure your ads fail. Number 11, don't follow up with your leads. Just don't at all, right? Never call or text them. Just wait until they call you, right? So assume that if they submit their information or if you run an ad for them to call your business, assume they're going to do that, right? Assume that they are going to take the initiative rather than you taking the initiative as the business owner. Assume that if they don't, that they weren't actually interested, right? So if someone doesn't reach out to you, they weren't interested in the first place. Bonus points if you also complain about lead quality at this point. Great way to make sure that nothing works. Number 12, better yet, follow up a few times and then deem the lead unqualified if they don't respond after you've reached out a few times. So just text them like 2 to 3 times, maybe call them once. After that, just stop, right? If they don't respond, we don't want to bother that person about this thing that they just willingly opted in for, right? At this point, it's best to just turn your ads off completely. Tell everyone that Facebook is just terrible. It's a horrible platform and it only gives you bad leads. Switch to a different advertising platform. When you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, you'll probably see some ad from some other marketing company that says, oh, Facebook ads are terrible and Facebook ads are the reason that you're getting low quality leads. Buy into their message, switch over to TikTok, switch over to Google, switch over to YouTube ads instead. Just do something else, right? Because obviously, in other words, blame the platform for the non-responsiveness of the leads. Okay, rather than just, fixing your follow-up process and maybe doing a little bit more follow-up than what most people are doing. Number 13, take as long as you possibly can to follow up with people, ideally 24 hours or more. If you can push it to multiple days, fantastic. Convince yourself that following up with leads can wait. This isn't something that's important or urgent. And just convince yourself that this person is going to be just as excited if we wait 24 hours from now. So like when they submit their information, they're this excited, and just assume that they're going to continue to be that excited as time goes on, even though in reality, people's excitement drops like this after they've submitted their information. But it's really important if you want your ads to fail that you make sure that you just wait as long as possible, right? Or delegate follow-up to your receptionist or someone else on your team. Tell them to follow up fast, but don't hold them accountable to that whatsoever. Just let them do whatever they do. Assume that they have time for lead follow-up in the first place on top of all of the other responsibilities that you've given that person, okay? Great way, great way. Number 14, assume that if a lead doesn't respond on the first contact, that they're uninterested. Label follow-up as like something that's pushy or it's against your brand and you just don't want to do follow-up because, they're either uninterested or you don't want to bother them. Not only are they uninterested if they don't respond on the first contact, but just assume that that person is also unqualified or not the right fit. And you know what? They probably think that you're super annoying for reaching out in the first place, even though your ad said that you were going to reach out before they even submitted their information, right? So just assume that that lead is uninterested and stop reaching out to them altogether. Number 15, make your follow-up seem as robotic as possible. So write your follow-up texts to show that they are clearly automated. So you just have them in like Go High Level or some like marketing platform, whatever you use, make it seem like it's a robot texting them. Even better, use those AI chatbots that a lot of people are advocating for now that respond to people immediately, which is super unhuman. Like most people are not sitting at their phones just waiting for their leads to text back so they can text them back real quick. Make sure that you're using one of those AI chatbots. It responds like super fast, which is super weird. Use 100% perfect grammar and uses that like strange AI tone of voice that like when you're reading it, you can kind of tell that it's AI. The exact opposite of how you text a friend. We want to make it seem like that's how, like we want our text to sound like that. This is an excellent way to not incentivize people to respond to you, since most people tend to not text with robots. So like if I'm texting something and I like all of a sudden know, oh, this is AI, I'm probably I feel less obligated to have a conversation with that literal robot. So if you don't want to get any responses, definitely make everything seem like it's AI or automated, or just use AI without even monitoring the responses that it's giving. Number 16, don't qualify your leads. over the phone. Just don't qualify them. Desperately accept appointments with anyone who's willing to schedule when they pick up the phone. So when you're, following up with leads and you're calling them and you're texting them from the ads that you're running, especially with those bad fit clients who don't have the problem that your treatment solves, that you're advertising. They're looking for the absolute cheapest solution. They don't see your treatment as the best solution or fit for them. They have zero urgency to solve their problem right now. Definitely schedule these people in, right? Put them on your calendar. These types of clients are perfect if you really enjoy having a sub 50% show rate and selling absolutely zero packages or treatment plans, because what this will result in is people who cancel their appointment like 10 minutes before because they realize how it's not urgent for them. They'll just no show altogether and not tell you. Or if they're looking for the cheapest solution or they don't truly have the problem that you're solving, when you pitch them a treatment plan or a package upon arrival, they're going to be like, oh, I don't want that. So yeah, definitely do that. Number 17, don't send any appointment reminders out of fear of bothering that person, okay? Assume that they're going to remember their appointment. Most people are extremely organized and, they add all of their appointments to their calendar and they live by their calendar just like you do. Just assume that that's how people operate. Believe that the appointment that they just scheduled is the most important thing in their entire life. Like they will put everything else aside for this appointment they just scheduled. They're going to cancel other appointments. They're not going to pick their kids up from school. They're going to blow off any other commitments that they have for this appointment that they just scheduled. So of course they don't need any reminding, right? You don't want to bother them. You don't want to be pushy. Just send them like one confirmation and then just hope that they show up. It's a really great way to make sure that no one will ever show up ever, okay? Number 18, if you do send reminders for appointments, make them as robotic and as unvaluable as you possibly can. So put zero manual effort into making sure that people show up to their appointment. Send a whole bunch of automated clinical reminders, which will just annoy the crap out of people and leave a really terrible taste in their mouth because they just keep getting blasted by these texts from you. This is a really great strategy if you love when leads make up these crazy, wacky excuses for why they couldn't make their appointment. Really, really good strategy because, 10, 15 minutes before, they're going to tell you that some crazy thing just happened in their life that they're probably making up and they won't show up. So number 19, provide zero value throughout your entire sales process. So make sure that you don't educate them at all. You don't inform them on anything. You don't entertain your leads whatsoever. All of your follow-up, all of your appointment reminders, all of your funnels, literally every single part of your sales process that you build out for running ads for your med spa should have absolutely zero value. So don't send them any resources. Don't send them any content that eliminates their objections before they ever get to their appointment. Let all of their fears, their doubts, their objections, their insecurities and everything just brew up in their mind before that appointment even happens. This is really great if you want to answer like 101 questions when they actually show up for their appointment and also have a very uncomfortable consultation filled with objections once you reveal the price, right? So if you love when you reveal your price and someone's like, oh, I don't even really know if this treatment's for me. Like, I don't think this is going to solve my problem. Like, that's really great. If you love having really uncomfortable sales conversations or consultations, then provide zero value throughout your sales process before someone actually shows up. Number 20, don't post on social media at all. So we want to make sure that when someone sees your ad and they click onto your social media or they Google your business's name, that your last post on Instagram and Facebook and all the platforms was from like 2016. Or we want to make sure that everything that you do post is like a stock photo. So your social media should look super unprofessional and sketchy so that we can instill doubt in their mind that they're getting scammed, right? Because obviously people want to show up for appointments where they feel like they are getting scammed. Great for last minute cancellations as well, because when someone sees that appointment reminder from you and they're like, who is this company that I like that keeps texting me these super robotic reminders? And then they look you up on Google and they look to your Instagram and it looks super sketchy and weird. And then, that's a great way to get cancellations last minute. So definitely would recommend, if you don't want your ads to work, don't post on social media at all. Number 21, neglect your online reputation. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the social media one. That 1-star review that shows up on Yelp as the first thing when somebody Googles your business name, that's perfect, right? That's likely enough to just get them to rethink their appointment entirely. So if someone types in 123 Med Spa on Google and they see your business and the first thing that comes up is that 1-star Yelp review that somebody left like 4 years ago, fantastic, right? Because that's probably enough to scare them away and make sure they don't show up. Number 22, for the people that do show up, give them a very mediocre first experience. This is a great way to make sure that your ads don't work. So we need to make sure that they're not impressed at all. So don't greet them with a smile when they walk in. Make them wait a really long time after they show up. Be late to the appointment yourself. Make the appointment like super clinical. Don't build any rapport whatsoever. So don't like have a conversation and like be a regular human with that person. And don't personalize it at all, right? So make it super unpersonalized, super clinical. Like they're just coming in for an appointment and you're just kind of there because you have to be there, right? Great way. Number 24, neglect sales. That's it. Neglect sales. This is probably my number one recommended strategy for guaranteeing that your ads are going to fail. Just pretend that sales doesn't exist, or that you and your business are somehow above sales, or it doesn't even apply to you, right? It doesn't apply to your business because you're just above it. Categorize sales as this icky, yucky, sleazy, used cars salesman thing that you just won't even look at. You won't even pretend like it exists. Just assume that if someone doesn't buy a treatment plan or a package from you, it's not because you neglect sales. Assume that it's because they were super unqualified. You shouldn't have to do any convincing whatsoever if they're not sure. They were never a good fit after all, right? Just assume that. That's perfect, because you will literally never sell anything to anyone aside from like 10% of people that you just get lucky with, right? Really great way to make no money with your ads. Number 24, assume that selling to Facebook leads is the same as selling to referrals, word of mouth, and past customers. So selling to referrals is extremely easy, and it doesn't really take a whole lot of convincing, because referrals, quote unquote, borrow trust from the person who referred them, right? Assume that people who come in from cold traffic, so people that are coming in for an appointment from the ads that you're running, already like and trust you just as much as the referrals did. So pretend that it will be just as easy to sell them packages and treatment plans. So assume you'll close like 60 to 80% of people that come in from your Facebook ads. This is a surefire way to get extremely discouraged and convince yourself that it's a Facebook problem or it's an ad problem, rather than actually it's just a sales problem, right? Because if you could convince yourself like, oh, I close like almost every single person who comes in as a referral, like I should be closing all these people from Facebook ads too, right? If you could convince yourself of that, it's going to be a really, really great way to get discouraged and to probably turn your ads off because you're frustrated. Number 25. If they don't buy the package or treatment plan that you pitched to them upon arrival, decide that they're a bad fit. Just decide they're a bad fit. They were never really a good fit in the first place. This is a perfect time to give up on that person and just stop following up with them. Deem that they're a poor fit, because if they were a good fit, they wouldn't need any convincing. They would just buy, right? Number 26, if they don't buy the package or treatment plan that you pitch to them, don't have any financing options or downsells ready whatsoever, right? So if you want to make no money at all, assume that people make decisions in a vacuum, right? They just provide them one option and only give them that option. If they really want to move forward, but finances are an issue, tell them, sorry, better luck next time. I mean, this is just the price of our thing. Like there's nothing we can do about it. Send them away super disappointed. So don't have any financing, don't have any downsells, don't have any cross sells. Don't try to help that person whatsoever, right? Number 27, never book follow-up visits. Just never book follow-up visits. This is as simple as it sounds. If someone has to think about it, or they say, oh, I have to talk to my spouse, let them walk out the door without any further commitment, because this is a really great way to fail, because you and I both know that that person will never reach back out to you, right? So if you just never even attempt to book a follow-up visit with that person, then that's a great way to make sure that lead just dies off. Number 28, if someone doesn't buy anything, never reach out to that person ever again. So let that lead disappear into the abyss. They got dressed, they put on their shoes, and they drove 10 to 20 minutes to actually see you because they were interested. So if they don't buy something, just let that opportunity die, right? That doesn't mean anything. This is a surefire way to reduce your ROI on your ads. So if someone doesn't buy anything, just stop reaching out to them. Like pretend like they don't exist. And our final one here, number 29, make sure to blame all of your external circumstances. So the economy, the agency you're working with, your local market, they just don't buy, your competitors, blame everything around you, right? So every single other circumstance around you aside from yourself, just take zero accountability for anything and make sure that you just blame all of these things for the reason that your ads are not working. Never take matters into your own hands or try to, identify the problem and actually solve it. Okay. So that was 29 ways to make sure that your ads fail. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and take the inverse of all of those things, like I said in the beginning of the video, and we think about how can we reverse those things, then we can very quickly just create a roadmap or a blueprint to virtually guaranteeing that your ads do work when you actually run them. So instead, if your business is dying, you should probably fix your business foundations or the fundamentals of your business first. Okay. So like I said in the beginning, it's not a good idea to run ads when you're desperate. Okay. Ads are an amplifier. They don't fix your business. They just amplify what's currently going on. And so if you're not currently getting sales or your business is currently dying, there's likely another issue that you need to fix before you start running ads. Okay. So it's kind of the idea of like, if I gave you all of the perfect materials to go build a house, but then I asked you to build that house on sand, like the foundation isn't set. And so it's very, very difficult to do that. So we need to get really good foundations set for your business first. Just as an example, like who do we help? Like who is our target audience? What problems do we help them solve? What is your local market currently buying? Like these are things that we all need. Like we need to really understand first before we start running ads. And you also need to have a good, basic understanding of sales as well before you start to run ads. Number 2, commit at least 3 months of budget. Do not give up in month one. You likely won't be profitable. So I would recommend like bare minimum, like $800 a month, bare minimum. I usually don't take clients on for anything less than like $1,500 a month in ad budget, because it's just not really worth running anything less than that. $1,000 a month, like $800 to $1,000 a month is probably like the bare minimum that I would run ads for, and have a minimum of 3 months worth of budget before you start. Include a consultation as a bonus in your offer. Don't make it the entire offer. So when you're advertising something, don't say, hey, come in for a free consultation because we're so amazing. You should have some kind of treatment, some kind of bonus, and then you should include a consultation as an added bonus. So basically like make it out like, and also on top of that, we're gonna, have one of our experts set aside some time to take a look at your situation and build you out a custom plan, right? But that's not the entire offer. That's just a component of it. Don't boost posts. Just don't boost posts unless you're looking to get more followers or you're looking to get more like visits on your Instagram profile. Just don't even bother boosting posts. On Facebook, when you go to run an ad, you tell Facebook what it should be optimizing for. So I can tell Facebook, hey, run an ad for me, and I want you to try to get me as many leads as possible. When you're boosting a post, the only thing that you can really tell it to do is get me more profile visits on my Instagram, which just isn't helpful for you. That's not what you're looking for. We're looking for leads, so people who are actually interested. Try to lose a little money or break even on the front end, and understand that you make a real profit on the back end. So when I say front end, I just mean that thing that we're advertising on the front end. We want to try to break even on our ad spend, or maybe even lose a little bit of money. So like, for example, let's say we run $1,000 of ad spend and we're running that to a $100 offer. If we could get like 10, 11, or 12 people and break even on the ad spend, that's great, because we just earned 12 new customers that we can now try to sell a treatment plan or a package, or get them into a membership or something else, which is where the real profit is made, which is the sale after the first sale. Be willing to run offers at a lower price point to get lead flow. Okay, so this is a really important thing to understand. A lot of people are very afraid to run offers under $100 because they have that Groupon experience or whatever. It's important to understand that when you use a lower price point, you're going to get more flow of leads, and lead flow is the number one problem that you have to solve first. Like if you have a lead problem in your business, the number one thing you want to do first is fix your lead problem. And so I would first start with something lower ticket, and then if you want to inch your price up over time, that's fine, but start with something low ticket just to get lead flow going. Understand that discounts and packages do attract some price shoppers. Like, yes, it is inevitable. Price shoppers exist. There are people out there who just want the cheapest thing. So it's our job to build a sales process to filter those people out. And so we use a discount or a package to get as many leads as we possibly can on the front end. And then once we're getting those leads in, we build a sales process that naturally weeds out the people who aren't serious. We do that by putting different filters in place. So they have to answer an application before they get on the call. They have to talk to somebody over the phone. They have to answer a specific set of questions. They have to meet our qualifications, et cetera, right? Understand that 99% of low quality lead issues are because of your sales process and your follow-up process. Okay, this is really important, but when you complain about low quality leads, it's likely not an issue with the ad. Okay, it's likely an issue with the sales process that's happening after you get the lead. Make your offer so good that a complete stranger scrolling social media would have to stop to at least learn more. So instead of just making a mediocre offer where you're saying like, oh, take this 10% off thing, you want to make an offer that is so good that someone would be like, whoa, like that's the best thing I've seen all day. I need to get some more information on that. Spend time creating great ad creatives. So don't rush through the ad creative, okay? Don't just go hire somebody on Fiverr and tell them to write the copy for you for the ad creative. Put some time and effort into thinking like, how can we capture someone's attention while they're scrolling on social media? How can we create something that gets somebody's attention and makes us stand out from the competitors in our local area? Follow up with your leads a lot at every single part of the pipeline. So instead of just not following up with your leads at all, you should be following up with them a significant amount. Okay. And if you have this mindset that like, oh, lead follow-up is bothering people, like we're just annoying people, then A, your follow-up probably isn't super valuable in the first place. And B, understand that if you neglect follow-up, then ads will never be successful. And so just don't run ads in that case. Understand that even qualified leads don't always respond on the first reach out. So a lot of people have full-time jobs, okay? And so like sometimes you might call somebody at like 11 a.m. or like 3 p.m. when they're working, like they're deep in work. And so that person might be qualified. They might have a high paying job. They might have the problem that you can solve for them, but they're unable to pick up the phone. And so don't just assume that because someone doesn't pick up the phone that they're unqualified or whatever, right? They're probably qualified, or there's a chance that they're qualified, but you just didn't get a hold of them at the right time, right? Call within 5 minutes, text within 5 minutes, email within 10 minutes. Just make that a golden standard. Instead of waiting to contact leads, try to get them while they're still on their phone. Try to get them while they're still just as excited as they were when they saw the ad for the first time. Understand that people are busy. You might just have called at a bad time. So this is kind of what I was saying, a few seconds ago. Like, sometimes you just reach people at the wrong time. So like, for example, like sometimes we like to make lead calls at 8:30 in the morning before the workday starts, because a lot of people are getting ready to go to work, or they're already on their commute. And so there's people that work all day long that can't accept a call during the workday, but they can accept a call at the ends of the workday. So you kind of just have to test out different calling times to see when people are more likely to pick up for you. Let's see, where are we? Write most of the follow-up texts and like communication that you're sending like you would text a friend. Okay, so rather than just making things super automated and clinical and trying to have like perfect grammar and things, like go through some of your text conversations with like people that you know. Try to make your text seem like that, because if it seems like it's a human texting on the other side, people are much more likely to actually respond. There's a moral obligation to respond to a real person, and there's no moral obligation to respond to a robot. Reject bad fit leads on the phone. So only schedule those who actually meet your qualifications. So if you're talking to somebody on the phone and you're asking them questions to see if they qualify, we need to make sure that they have the problem that you can solve. They are not just looking for the cheapest price, and there's some urgency to solve that problem now and not wait 6-12 months to do it, right? We also need to understand what things have they tried in the past, what didn't work for them, so that we can understand if that person is actually a good fit. And if someone isn't a good fit, like no worries, like it's no hard feelings, right? Just don't schedule that person in. Just tell them like, hey, honestly, we don't think that you're a great fit for this treatment at this time. We thank you so much, but we're not gonna schedule the appointment, or whatever. You can obviously think of a nicer way to say that, but you want to just, again, if we're using a low ticket offer and we're getting a lot of leads, we want to just make sure we're rejecting all the people that are not good fits. Understand that this appointment is not the most important thing in their life, and they will forget if you don't remind them, and you need to send them valuable reminders. So if somebody books an appointment with you, you absolutely need to send them multiple appointment reminders, because people do forget their appointments, and you also need to make them valuable. And so when I say valuable, we're not just saying like, don't forget your appointment over and over. We want to make sure that we're actually sending them valuable pieces of content. We're, informing them, we're reminding them something about the appointment in particular. We're showing them, a video tour of your office, just things that they would see and be like, oh, I'm glad that they sent me that before the appointment. Like that's helpful, right? If it's helpful, if it's educational, if it's entertaining, something like that, those are the best types of follow-up that don't drive people crazy and they really appreciate. Put manual effort into your appointment reminders. So call people the day before their appointment to confirm. Write texts that are specific to that person. So if someone tells you over the phone, like, hey, I'm dealing with this problem, X, Y, and Z, then it would be really great to send them a text a few days before and be like, hey, Sarah, we remember that you mentioned you were dealing with XYZ problem. We were just telling the team about it. We can't wait to help you solve that problem, right? That's super personalized to them, and people really appreciate that. Address the most common objections people have by sending them content or resources before the appointment. So for example, like if you just let all of the objections that people have brew up and then you have to answer all of those objections in the consultation, it's going to be very uncomfortable. But as an example, let's say someone's coming in for like an Emsculpt Neo treatment, and one of the biggest objections you get with Emsculpt Neo is like, I don't think that this is actually going to work for me. You could send them a resource beforehand being like, look at all these people that got incredible results with Emsculpt Neo. Here's a little bit of information on exactly how the treatment works and the science behind it, et cetera, right? If you can send people stuff before they even reach the appointment, by the time they show up, like you've already broken a lot of the beliefs that they have that were holding them back from moving forward in the first place. Post on social media every week, post stuff with your team before and afters, et cetera. Just don't let your social media be like bleak and sketchy and you haven't posted in a while. Google your business name and make sure that your reputation is solid. So for example, Like if you Google your name and you see that you have bad reviews or you don't have any reviews at all, then you should definitely go try to get reviews from your past customers. If you have a bad review, like for example, I've had situations before where a client will have like one singular bad review on Yelp and it makes it look really bad when people Google their name. The best way to do that is to just drown it out with all amazing reviews. So like try to get some reviews on your Yelp account that are 5-star reviews so that when people do Google you, that 1-star review just seems much less significant. Blow people away on the first appointment. So I'm not even gonna go too deep into that. Just like give them an incredible experience. Like think about it. If you were visiting a business for the very first time, like how would you want to be treated? What would you want people to say to you? How would you want that experience to go in order for you to be excited to come back the second time? Accept that sales is a part of a successful business, even if you don't like it. So you don't have to like sales. That's fine, right? Like you can think that sales is icky or sleazy or like whatever. Just understand that like your business is never going to succeed without sales. And there are ways that you can use sales as a tool in a not icky, in a not sleazy way. And I actually have a YouTube video on the sales process for med spas, which I can put on the screen now. But you need to make sure that you just get over that hump of like, oh, I'm going to neglect sales and pretend like it doesn't exist. If you want to make money with your ads, especially like if you ever want to run ads for your med spa, you need to take sales seriously. Understand that cold traffic requires more sales skills than referrals and word of mouth. So it's really easy to close people on a package or a treatment plan when they're a referral or they're word of mouth or they discovered you organically or whatever. It's a lot harder to close people that are cold traffic. Like if you could close between 20 to 40% of people that come in from an ad, then you're doing pretty good. Okay, so just understand that you're going to close less people that come in from cold traffic, and you need to be better at sales in order to do it. Understand that people don't buy for legitimate reasons. It's your job as the problem solver to help yourself and also that other person understand what that reason is that's holding them back from purchasing. And you need to get okay with asking uncomfortable questions to people during the consultation when they say, oh, I need to think about it. Okay, what are your main concerns? Like what are you thinking about right now? And you need to kind of dig deeper so that you can understand if there's a way for you to solve a problem for them, or if they say, oh, honestly, it's just the price, then you can start to get creative with them and actually help them solve their problem. Change your mindset to everyone buys something. So again, this is when somebody comes in, if they don't buy the treatment plan or package, then you should have financing options ready. You should have downsells ready. You should have, a monthly membership that you could possibly do for them. Just understand that everyone who comes in that was interested in something, they're interested in spending money to solve their problem, right? And so you just need to find a way that they feel comfortable spending that money or the solution that they're looking for and provide it to them. Always book follow-up visits. So instead of just never booking follow-up visits, always find a reason to book a follow-up visit with somebody to get them back into your office. If someone doesn't buy anything, keep in touch regularly. So this is the past video, the most recent video that I put out is about this, but if someone doesn't buy, don't just let that person disappear forever. You want to follow up with that person. And the best way to do that is once a week for a month. So 4 times in the first month. And then after that, follow up with them once a month for a year. So 1 time a month per year. I promise it's not going to be annoying as long as your follow-up is actually good and valuable, but you don't just want to let that person disappear. You want to stay top of mind and stay on their radar. And then the final most important one is to take responsibility for your situation. Understand that everything is a problem that can be solved. So instead of blaming the economy or blaming your agency or blaming the low quality leads or blaming Facebook, you need to just understand, okay, I have a low quality lead problem. I can do something to solve this. I don't know what it is right now, but there is something that I can do to solve this problem. Every single problem has a solution. It's just it's your job and your ability to figure out what the problem is so that you can put your energy towards solving that problem rather than just blaming all of your external circumstances. So, a little bit of a longer video, but I hope it was helpful. Just to wrap up here, if you'd be curious to hear how I could potentially get you a minimum of 10 to 20 qualified aesthetic consultations on a monthly basis, and if I don't get you that result, then you wouldn't pay me a single dime, then feel free to hit the link in the description, the very first one. Click on that, watch the video on that page, and then book a call with me, and we could chat to see if I could help your business, and I'll see you in the next one.